Hey everybody, what I wanted to do today is give you a quick look at the Casio PRG-270 watch and just show you some of the basic navigation and functions of this watch. Talk to you about some of the things I like and then some of the things I don't like about the watch, just in case you're sitting out there thinking about buying this watch and you just want to get some feedback from somebody. So first and foremost, it works pretty much the same as a lot of Protreks. You've got a mode button down here on the bottom left. That's going to cycle you through your different modes. We'll look at that here in a second. You've got your adjust button that you're usually going to be using just for settings or adjusting the display. And then you've got three independent buttons over here for your compass, barometer, and your altimeter. Your sensor is going to be on the left-hand side of the watch. And then your light button is going to be a standalone button down here at the bottom. So in your time mode, you do have some different view options. If you press the adjust button, you can see I can have my day and date, or day of the week and date. I can have the month and date, or I can show my barometric pressure over the last 42 hours. I think that's really the big difference between this Protrek and a lot of the other ones, is you've got a 42-hour grid versus some of the other ones that just show a 24-hour grid. The thing that's disappointing to me or that I don't like is you're always going to have your seconds here. I wish they would let you see your date down here in this grid up here and be able to cut off the seconds, but unfortunately they don't. Seconds are always going to be there. You'll notice at the bottom here I've got a power indicator. This H that is showing me my battery life for the watch. You're going to be seeing that in pretty much all of the screens that you go to, no matter what mode it is. I'm going to press the compass button just so you can take a look at the compass. Compass mode is pretty cool. Unfortunately, just like most of the other Protreks, it will kick you out of it and stop using it after only a short period of time. There's other watches out on the market that will leave you in compass mode a lot longer than the Protrek. It's not a huge deal. You can always just press the compass button to start it again. I'm not going to go into all the specs. There's a lot of different things you can do with the compass. You can navigate to a point of interest. You can just have the general compass setting here. I've done some more specific videos on all of the different functions on this watch if you want to review any of those. You do have your current time in here, and again you have your battery indicator. You'll always have your north indicator. So as I turn, that will always point to the north, and then you'll have your directional pointer or your sight and go indicator if you're navigating to a certain navigation. We'll go ahead and press the barometer button so you can take a look at the barometer. Some of these, you'll notice, even though the adjust button worked on the time mode, you don't get any other options in your barometer mode. Again, we've got the 24-hour trend we can see up there, we've got our barometric pressure, and we have our temperature value. I'll press the altimeter just so you can see it. The barometric pressure and the altimeter are kind of the same way. It depends on what you have your settings for. You can, they're going to fluctuate as far as how long they leave you in that setting. The max is going to be 24 hours, and then it will kick you out and take you back to your time mode. I think that's probably the biggest benefit that smartwatches give you over this. Is a lot of the smartwatches out there these days will show you your altitude value and your barometric pressure value on the watch face at all times if you want it. You can't do that with this watch. You can basically see barometric pressure trend at all times, and that's going to be it. Here's a look at the altimeter. I've got my altitude value. I've got the altitude trend, again my current time. If I press and hold the adjust button, I can actually change some of the views here. So for example, if I don't want the trend, I can show my differential value. So instead of seeing a trend up here, I can see what is the difference in altitude between my current altitude and the reference altitude that I've selected. So there are a few different things you can change in the different modes, but it's pretty limited. Again, it's not going to be as detailed or have as many options as a smartwatch. The benefit though is, unlike a smartwatch, I don't have to connect it to a cell phone. I don't have to recharge it, anything like that. So there's definitely some positives that this is going to have over your smartwatches. I'll go ahead and press the mode button, get back to my time mode. I'll show you the different modes on the watch. So those are your sensor modes. If I press the mode button once, it'll take me to sunrise and sunset. This is going to be what that looks like. You're going to have your sunrise in the middle, your sunset down here at the bottom, and then your current date up at the top. You can actually move forward or backward if you want to check a future date. Maybe you're going fishing or hunting. You want to know what the sunrise and sunset is going to be. Press the mode button again, it will show you your recordings. The watch does 3 different types of altitude recordings. You've got manual recordings you can do, so maybe you're out hiking or maybe you're at your deer stand and you want to take a recording of what is the altitude at that value. You can store up to 30 manual recordings. You've got automatic values that get stored, and then you've got Trek mode, which basically will allow you to record your altitude values longer, and you can store up to 14 different Trek mode recordings. This is how you can get to your recordings and basically review them. So here's the manual ones. I've only got 12 of them stored, but gives you an idea of how you can cycle through and look at your various values. Press the mode button another time, it'll take you to your stopwatch functionality. You can start, stop, reset. Press it again, it'll take you to your countdown timer option. And again, pretty much like the stopwatch. You've got your alarm setting. You also have the hourly chime functionality if you want to have an hourly chime. You've got a world time setting that you can view. And then back to your time mode. That's just some basic functionality. The one thing I was going to say, I do like the size of the watch. I think it fits really well on the wrist. The one thing I do not like is, and this is probably more of a problem on my end, is if you have small wrists like me, they have a keeper on the strap and the strap sticks out. So that's the one negative about it. I love the size of it. I think it looks great on the watch. It's extremely comfortable. I wish they didn't have the keeper to where I could run the buckle all the way up and keep this tucked in. What tends to happen with me is because this sticks out, it kind of catches on a lot of stuff, whereas on my G-Shocks you can actually have this tucked down better. The keeper is really a nice feature if you've got bigger wrists, but if you're small-wristed like me, it can be kind of a pain. Anyway, that's a quick look at the navigation, just some basic information about the watch. I hope the video helps.